Hello, this is Dolores Cannon again, and this is the Metaphysical Hour. And I would like to give out the numbers that you can call if you do want to call in during the show. The one number to call for the States is 1-888-268-4313. That's 1-888-268-4313. For those people that are international and in other countries, if you want to call in during the show, the number is 1-281-419-7697. 1-281-419-7697. If you want to call in any time during the show. Okay, tonight is going to be a little different. This will be my first time to have a guest on the show. And so we're going to see how it's going to go. I have a woman here who has come all the way from France. And she's my publisher over there. She lives in France, but she has translated and published 2 of my books in Holland. So they were translated into Dutch. And she's come all the way she lives in France, so she's come all the way here to visit. And so I wanted to interview her tonight, and we'll find out about some of her work, especially in Europe, and what she has done. Right? And it was funny because she said it's her very first time to come to America. And people were saying, "Where are you going in America?" She said, "Arkansas." And it's like, what is in Arkansas? Most people, when they come to America for the first time, want to go to New York, Chicago, one of the big cities. But she said, no, she's not interested in that. Isn't that true?
Yes, I just wanted to go to you and do some sessions. And no, I was not interested in going and seeing America.
Not the big cities.
No, I don't like cities. I like the countryside. And
the big cities don't appeal to you.
No, not that much.
Okay, I guess I better tell her name so you'll know who we're talking to. Her name is Riet Okken, and she lives in, where is it? It's in the east of France?
In the southeast, in the Ardèche. It's a little village in the mountains of France, south of France.
What, is it near a big city?
It's near Lyon and Valence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you're back in the country just like I am.
Yes. Yeah.
Said you like to be out there by yourself like that.
Oh, yeah.
As Reed said, she has her center and her publishing company is in what used to be an old mill. And they have renovated it and fixed it up for the living quarters.
Yes.
And for you have classes there and people come?
Yeah, we have there, we organize weeks where people go for an intensive retreat. Most of the time for a week. And then we work in a group of 10 people doing a lot of emotional work, spiritual work, but for me it's all combined. So we work a week together, and then we go again to Holland. So most Dutch people and Belgian people.
A lot of them do come from Holland then for your classes.
Yes, the most, yeah. It's Dutch speaking. My friend is not so good that I do already French speaking groups. So it's a Dutch group, yeah.
Makes it easier that way.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But you said the building is an old mill that dates back to the 1700s.
Yeah.
But it must have sat empty for a long time, didn't it?
Yeah, it was for 20, 30 years was it empty, and then another Dutch owner came and then he sold it to us. Yeah.
But it's had 25 rooms, so it's
it's a big
building.
Yeah.
And I can imagine the amount of work it must have taken to start making it into a place to live in again.
Yeah. We did a lot of with friends, and we had all the money in the house, so we did it all by ourselves in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. How many years ago was that you...
9 years ago.
9 years ago
there,
that you found the old mill.
Yeah. It was an inner voice who told me if I would like to go to France and live there. I said, yeah, why not? Yeah, I would like to go. And then they showed me...
Okay, when she says the voice, I think people out there who are into metaphysics know she's talking about what I call them, they. You know, we hear these things in our minds, and if we're smart, we will listen to it. And you might say intuitions, guides, guardians, higher self.
My higher self, yeah. My sister up there, I always say.
Our sister up there. Okay.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, why you were from Holland. And you lived where, around Amsterdam?
And I lived in the south of
Holland, and all of a sudden you end up in France.
Yeah, we had just our house renovated in the south of Holland, and then the voice came and said, you like more warmer climate, you can better write, you have more inspiration when you are in nature. I said, yes, it's true. So there is a house ready for you there. So they talked about a mill. And I thought, mill in France? I mean, the mills are normally in Holland. I didn't know France very good. And so I looked on the map for mills, for a village who was the name mill in it, but it wasn't. But I ran them there, and I was led to a place. And I came to a company who sells houses.
The real estate company.
A real estate company. And I say, after a week of searching, and I thought I quit the mill. I just looked for a house. I said, what do you look for? He asked me, is there a house? And then he said, I have something very nice for you. It's an old mill. And then I said, oh wow, it's it. And it was. And the voice said to me, when you go there, your emotions, your movement will show you that's the place.
But you will know immediately that is.
Yeah, and I was there. I started crying, and it was.
But it was an old deserted building.
It was the second house of a Dutch.
But I mean, it's not the kind of thing you would think.
No, and it was huge. It was very big, and I had no intention to start a center there. I mean, I did 20, 30 years of therapy work, and I had a bit enough of it. I wanted to take a rest, and so I had no ambition to start a center there. So I said, what to do with a big house like that? And then the voice said, you just go to live there, and everything will come to you. So take it easy, take time for yourself, and we'll see.
I think that's a real leap of faith, because here she had the house in Holland that was all finished.
Renovated, nice farm.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then to listen to what they were saying to her and to follow those instincts, that takes a real leap of faith.
Yes, and we had not enough money, so we had to loan it. Yeah,
get a loan?
Yeah, get a loan, and the banks wouldn't loan us. And, all kind of complications, but it was so clear, the voice. I couldn't say no. I mean, I was also happy also to have a change in my life. But I did, for myself, I never had the idea to immigrate. I was happy in Holland, and I was
go into France, where it's a different language.
I could speak staying in France. Again, I couldn't speak the language.
But, how many people out there listening have had these instincts and the feeling they need to change their life, they need to go somewhere else, but they don't follow it up because they said, this is crazy. We have everything we need. We're settled.
Yeah.
Why should we go off to a strange place?
Yeah.
But it was very brave of you, really, to listen to that and follow it.
Yeah, it was so clear. There was no moment of hesitation, of doubt, no. No, though I had to sell the house we just bought for years ago before. But it was so clear. I went for the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And now, after 9 years, it shows that this was the right thing to do and nice step in my life.
But like you said, with no money, then you had to rebuild it and turn it into a living place.
Yeah. So we learned to do everything. I can build houses now. A bit.
I know what you mean because I built my house,
you know
so I know
too,
you learn a lot.
Yeah, it's nice also as a woman that you can do the things you normally won't do as a woman.
Yeah, that's what they always say. A woman can't do these things.
Yeah.
But if you let if you let things like that hold you back, you'll never do anything anyway.
Yeah, and it's nice. It gives you more confidence in that you can do all the things that you try, and most of the things not. You have not a muscles like a man. But
well, it's the same thing. People probably told you, well, you're going to go all the way to America. Why? You do what you feel you're led to do.
Yeah, I didn't know why I came to America. I just knew I had to visit you and put some sessions with you, and so it was a surprise.
But when it shows if you listen to these things, they usually work out.
Yes, of course, yes.
They aren't going to lead you in the wrong direction anyway.
Yes, no, and it's a kind of a test to get confidence in that inner voice, and the more you listen and you follow, the more you get trust to do it, and the more the voice comes. I mean, it's a kind of accumulation. Yeah.
Then you know that it's real, and you know to trust it. That's very important.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that are afraid to. They say, maybe they'll lead me in the wrong direction or something.
Yeah, but the fear that gets you back in your evolution, and
people are afraid to do anything that way. They're afraid to try anything new.
Yeah, but therefore, I worked a lot on myself to overcome my fears and to overcome all the old stiff patterns in myself.
Yes.
And if you work on that, then new doors get open.
Oh yes.
In which you learn to be adventurous and to learn to do crazy things in your life. and yes, just follow the voice inside, and then your life gets changed and new and miraculous and
yeah, because a lot of people tell me they're afraid to go anywhere, afraid to do anything. Well, then they'll sit in their house and never do anything.
Yeah.
Then at the end of their life, it's, well, I wish I would have done these things.
Yeah, it's too late. You are crippled.
Well, Riet is a psychotherapist and a psychologist. And you said, how many years were you doing therapy?
I think
altogether?
From my 25 or 27 years, yes.
That you've been doing therapy. Okay, and let's talk first about some of your own books, because Riet has the Start Publishing Company. That's what she calls it, isn't it?
Yes,
the Start Publishing Company. It's mostly in Dutch, in Holland.
Yeah.
And she has published some of your own books were published by another publisher first.
Yeah, first, yeah.
Okay. Why don't you tell us something about the book that you were mentioning to me that had to do with one of your past lives?
Yeah.
During World War II.
Yeah. The first book I wrote was called The Power of Destination. And in that book, I write down my memories I had after doing some sessions in hypnosis and many dreams and other kind of therapies, in which I remember that I lived in the time of World War II and ended my life as a Jewish young woman in Auschwitz. That was the first past life I remembered. And when I remembered that life and relived through all the emotions, that opened up a lot in myself, a lot of fears and so there was a very good opening for my development.
But
have that life.
Auschwitz, I think people probably know what Auschwitz was, but there are some younger people that don't. It was one of the death camps during World War II.
Yes.
Where wasn't it in Poland or
In
where?
Poland,
In
south
Poland.
of Poland, yes.
It was located in Poland in World War II, and the Germans took many of the Jewish people to these death camps.
6 million.
6 million. And they never came out. You know, a lot of them didn't. They died there.
Yeah.
Some of them from starvation, and some of them were gassed in the gas chambers. There was many horrible things that happened during those times with the death camps. And Auschwitz was one of these. And, you know, I've also done sessions where people remembered lives that when they were in World War II in these places. And they come back very quickly. It does have an effect on your life now. The fears, and you don't know where they came from.
No.
But in that life, you did die there in Auschwitz,
yeah,
didn't you?
I did die in Auschwitz. Not in a gas chamber, but I was shot.
You were shot in that lifetime.
Yeah.
And you came back then very quickly.
In 48. I died in 43, and I came back in 48.
Mm-hmm. When you do that, sometimes it's all very fresh, and it can affect this life when you come back so quickly.
Yes. I don't remember that I had special fears. I mean, as a child, I was very fearful. I don't know if it is connected with that life, maybe. But for me, it was most important of remembering that life that I wanted in that life. I wanted to become a writer.
Oh, in that Jewish life.
Yeah, that Jewish life. And I wrote my diaries, and they got published later on in the year 80. Here, they were found in 1980.
This is similar to the Diary of Anne Frank, then, that famous book.
Yes, she was older. I was older.
But they did find the diaries that you wrote in the 1940s then.
Yes. And they were found in 1980s. But after I remembered that life, then I started to longing also to become a writer. And before I was 38 when I remembered that life.
You were already a therapist.
Yes, and I never wrote a book or never wrote anything. I mean, not special. And then I got the longing of I'm a writer. I'll become a writer. I go to write. Then I started my first book, writing these memories, and afterwards I wrote some 5 other books. So that's all started. So that when you relive another life, it's not always to cure old trauma. It's also to get back some talents you forgot or you were not in contact with.
But it came forth for a reason.
Yes.
There was some reason that it had to come forth in your life at that time.
Yes, it started with a dream. I had a dream that I saw trains and went to Auschwitz. That was in the dream. So it was a dream that came from nowhere. I mean, I never occupied myself with that. And then I did the hypnosis sessions to get to know what the dream was mean. And then I saw all the pictures.
And you began to get the information.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting that they did find the diaries.
Yes.
So they proved then that you did live at that time, and the diaries are real.
Yeah. But many people say, you read the diaries. That's the name I had, and that I was Etty Hillesum. And they say, you read the books, and therefore you think you were her. But I read her books before, in a few years before, but I found them good, but I was not very in.
You mean they think you were copying the diary of Anne Frank?
No, not Anne Frank.
That you were.
No, not Anne Frank. The diaries of Etty Hillesum, they were found in the 1980s, and I read them. And afterwards, I remembered being her. Etty Hillesum.
I see.
And people said, "Are you?" Many people, a woman wanted to be Etty Hillesum, and I said, I was not very. How do you say that? I didn't very adore her. So many people adored her because of the diaries. I wrote them. read them and I find them good, but not special. So
but
for
you
me
have
it was
much
a surprise.
more. You have much more memories though than what were in those.
Yeah, and therefore they in Holland in the 1980s they admired her like a saint a bit because she was a very metaphysical diary also and.
But she was as an ordinary woman.
Yeah, and I showed in my book she was an ordinary person. I showed all the neuroses that were also involved. Especially she could have hid herself and not going to the camps, but she went voluntary, and there people admire her for. And I say
that's where they mean.
And I say it were all the guilt feelings she went. So it was in my memory.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, but this was my first book. Primarily, I wrote it to overcome my fear, to show my experience.
Mm. But you said this book is no longer in print in Holland.
No, you can download it from my website.
From your website, it can be downloaded in English too.
They have to write me an email, and then I will send it.
You do have it in English.
Yeah,
but it's not in a book form anymore.
No,
but it is can be downloaded on your website. Do you want to give your website?
Yeah, it's in Dutch, so I have to speak Dutch.
You may have to spell it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The website is licht.werk.com.
What does that mean?
Sparkle of light.
Oh, okay.
So we call our work spark of light work. Sparkle or spark? Sparkle of light work.
Okay. Spell it so that
in Dutch?
Yeah, well, spell it in English so they can write it.
Licht, CH, licht in een T, P. I cannot spell it.
You have a different pronunciation for the letters.
So,
okay.
licht.werk. When they put on my name, Riet Okken, then
that's
they
the
will
way to
find
do
it.
it. That would be much easier. Yes, because when I've traveled in Europe, they have different pronunciations of the letters. And it gets a little confusing. All right, so if they go on the internet, usually Google is one that
Google,
people use on Google,
they find me directly.
You type in Riet Okken, and it will bring up everything about you and the website.
Yeah.
And to spell her name, it's R-I-E-T, Riet. And the last name is O-K-K-E-N. Riet Okken, and you'll be able to download a lot of information about her and hook onto her website and find out about these books she has written. Because some of them are out of print, and then other ones are still in print now, aren't they? All right. But then, let's see, we have so much you want to talk about. I want to get into your therapy also. Yes. But you decided to form your own publishing company, too.
Yes, I didn't like to beg by the publishers to ask, do you want to publish my book?
We've all been there.
Yeah,
you please look at my manuscript, you know.
And I wanted to earn money for the first time on my books, but I mean, normally you get 5 to 8%, and I mean...
we get more than that.
Yeah, just those times, the beginning of my book was 8%, not more. Mm. So I was thinking, I found it very dishonest that as a writer you get so less. So little.
But you know, as a publisher, we know the other side of it too.
Yeah, I know it now.
You know it now, but that's
I give my writers more than 5%.
I try to give mine a good deal also, because most writers don't understand all the different parts of the publishing.
Yeah. It's a lot of investment you have to do. Yeah.
But then you started your publishing company, and you have published several books.
Yeah. Yeah, the first one we published was my book, The Liberating Power of Emotion. So that's the main thing now of my work.
Okay.
So the work on emotions, because I found in my own life and with others that without the transformation of the emotions, of the traumas and the emotions involved, spirituality cannot be very sound. I mean, it becomes how do you say that? Not to other side of down, not to down to earth. I like a spirituality who is on this earth, who is down to earth, with the feet on the ground.
Okay.
And the transformation of your emotions and your body gives the ground for
grounding.
For the sound spirituality.
Okay. This is part of what you do with your therapy work now.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it wasn't that kind of therapy, though, was it?
Yes, also, but I evolved
into
this more and more.
But when you talk about the transformation of emotions, let's see if we can make it easier for them to understand.
Yeah.
Because we all have emotions, and many people, the emotions rule them.
Yeah, that's.
And like I've just begun to read your book. She's translating it into English, and it had to do with controlling emotions. See if you can explain it better.
And most of the time, what most of the people what we do in life is we control the emotions, or we venting them out.
You vent
and you're acting them out in your daily life. So, and that's where all the wars and conflicts come from. And I think that there is a third way necessary, and that is that you learn to know your emotions, you learn to express them, but in such a way that you don't harm anybody, that you don't you don't vent them out. You vent them. You don't vent them subconscious. That you are aware of your emotions, and that you are aware of the direction of your emotions. Because in the emotions, it is mixed. The past and the present is mixed.
The way we're brought up and
I will give an example. For example, if you you get easily triggered by authoritarian people, or when someone approaches you, authoritarian, and you get triggered and you become angry or afraid, then most of the time it has a root in your past, because you had an authoritarian father and or a mother, and you have not worked it through, you have not digested. And so most of the time what happens is you have not digest your past, then you act it out in the here and now. So you get in conflicts with people, with a person, with your boss, or someone who is authoritarian. So what I teach people is to get aware where your emotions come from, where your overload comes from.
Most people don't know. They don't.
No.
Sometimes they don't even remember the incident in their past.
Yes, exactly. And then they act it out with your children, or with your colleagues, and there all the conflict starts from. So first of all, what I learned is that you discern between the past and the present, and that if you get triggered by your boss because he said, you have to do this and that, and you get triggered by it, you cannot react normally. You have directly to go to your past and it's my daddy, and then you go in your room and work it out with your daddy. So when you get angry at your boss, I say, okay, go in your room and take a pillow and something to hit with, and hit
I've heard that's very good.
And hit your father. The neurotic part of your father. I mean, your father meant it all so good. I mean, all our parents.
I've always told people it's a lot easier to take it out on, hitting a pillow if you're angry. You don't want to hit a child or hit a person.
No, and if you hit it out for yourself, then you can deal easily with your boss, because then your overload is gone, and you can say to your boss, hey boss, I don't like if you scream at me. You can talk normally to me. Then you can be friendly, saying things like that instead of.
We hope that the boss will accept it.
Yes, but instead of reacting and making a conflict
or holding it inside.
Yes, but so because all of the emotions we have from our past stocked in ourselves, we try to control them. But everything what you control, it comes by the little holes in everything what you put under the carpet. It comes.
Sweep it under the carpet.
But it comes to the surface in a way when you are afraid, when you are tired. Then the emotions comes and so then you vent it out, and it has no sense.
But a lot of people can't trace it back to where it comes from.
No, but that's the work. That's
your work. But the average person, they just know they're angry, and they take it out on everyone around them.
Yeah, and therefore the work continues in our world. And so I think when you will find love, and spirituality is, for me, love is to do with the realization of love, then you have to find your hate, your old hate. And hate is nothing and a fixation of your old anger. And that old anger that traces back to times where you were powerless as a child, or maybe also in another life.
Like Auschwitz, my work too deals with finding the answer in another life.
Yes, mine also. So also when you were powerless, for example, if you were in Auschwitz, then when you are a victim, you are angry.
Well, that was definitely a victim in that life.
Yes, and then you are angry. And that angry, you when you don't digest that, then it gets stuck in yourself, or you become sick, or you get involved in conflict situations
with your loved ones, or your family, or your
children.
business.
You give it to your children, and so it's very important for me for true spirituality to do the emotional work. And nowadays, I know it's not very popular because in many metaphysical and spiritual scenes, they all say, the emotional work, we are gone beyond that. We have to, it's the ABC, we have got it. But I think
going into, we've evolved beyond that. We're better.
But it's not true. Most people are not beyond that. I mean, we can think that and we can hope that, but it's not true. I mean, everyone was a child, and if you, when you were a child, you were powerless. Now say that, powerless.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
That's it.
So, and if you're powerless, then you pile up angriness. I mean, I
work with a lot of people like this.
Yeah, I remember when I was a child, I mean, everybody said to me what I had to do. I mean, at school, you have to go at school 8 hours a day in school bags, and I mean, you have nothing to say, so you suppress your anger.
But that's life. The kids do have to go to school.
Yes, but we have made a crazy life. We don't live natural anymore in this world. And therefore,
because you can't very well tell the kids they don't have to go to school because.
Yes, I published a book of an American school, Sudbury Valley School. It existed already 35 years, in which the children are free. They let the children totally free. They can hang around whole days, whole weeks, whole months, till there comes a moment that kid gets curious and wants to learn. And there are children who want to learn to learn writing when they are 4 years, and others are 10 years, and they let them. And all that kids, when they are 18 years and leave there, they know what they want. They are very self-sure, self-sufficient, and they are allowed at many universities in America without a normal diploma, because they are so wonderful people. And so in Holland now there are many schools. They call that Iederwijs.
I wonder what's the name of the school. What do they call the school
in America?
Oh yeah,
Sudbury Valley School. There are many in America.
Sudbury
Valley School.
Oh, okay.
There's one in, I don't know, Michigan, I think, but I don't know, but they are
Okay,
everywhere.
because I know I've heard of the Montessori, but you said it's not that.
No, it's not that. They leave all the children totally free, and they wait till their own curiosity awakes, and then the children know what they want to do in life.
Mm.
And they in the first year they can play. They can play and hang around and learn by their own. There are children who learn reading, and then they can read, and then they ask them, "How did you read? How did you learn it?" "I don't know." The child says, I can read now." They learn it
naturally.
Naturally, yes.
But in a situation like that, there are always some children. Maybe they say, "Well, this is fun to just play. I don't want to learn. I don't want to go to school."
There are children who play for years.
Yeah.
But that's the child who is supposed to be to learn to play. I mean, it's an idea that the children have to go to school. That
be structured.
And be structured. I mean,
I was thinking this is kind of a radical idea. That's why I'm bringing up these other comments here, because I was thinking if a child was given a chance, they'd much rather just not go to school and just stay home and play.
Yeah, but the schools they developed, the Sudbury Valley School in Holland, the Diagnosing School, they are in a natural surrounding. They can play outside, and I know children who are a week busy with digging a hole and looking how deep they can go. And then they learn some geology, and they look it up in a dictionary. But it started with digging holes. I mean, that's all.
Do they live at the school, or
no,
do they go back? Still live at home and
still
go
at
there?
home, yeah. So that book published me too, because that's where my heart is. Because I remember from my youth, I was a good student, but I mean that.
It's very structured. You know, we have to do these things.
Yes.
What's the name of that book that you wrote?
The Freedom of the Sudbury Valley School.
Oh, okay. Can that also be downloaded on your website?
Not downloaded. It's for sale still.
Oh, it's still for sale.
Yeah.
In Dutch.
In Dutch, yeah.
But can it be downloaded in English?
Yeah, it's in English. That's the same book. I think when they go to SudburyValleySchool.org or .com, then they will find it there.
But if they write your name in, you will still come up with your website. These books will be mentioned on there.
Yeah.
Okay, because well, it's kind of a radical idea for of America thinking like that. You know, to let the child just do anything they want.
Yeah, in Europe too.
But you know, who knows? It's an interesting idea.
It's wonderful people they create today.
But these are popular in Europe, these schools?
Yeah, starting last year. Yeah, we have in Holland 11 or 12 schools. They have difficulty with financing because the government will not support them.
No, I would think they wouldn't, probably, because they're stepping out of the norm.
The
order. They're going off into something that's not normal.
Yeah. But I support that very much, that kind of, because it connects to our emotional work. I mean, the more the children keep their freedom, the less they have to suppress, and the less they need therapy afterwards.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But, you know, talking about, too, we have to control our emotions to a certain extent because we do live in a civilized society.
I would not say control. Sometimes you have to park, like you park the car. Yeah. You park them when you, for example, you notice you get angry with someone, then you say, okay, I parked it, and when I got home, I look at it, where it comes from. Yeah. So you take your own responsibility, and you work it out for yourself.
If you can find it.
If you can find, Now, if you not can find it, you look for a therapist. How you do a week at our center.
At your school, at your center.
I mean, I think it's important.
Because you go to a normal therapist, you know, as a psychologist, the way you're trained is you go to a normal therapist. They're not going to to look at it the same way.
No, nowadays they don't. They are more and more superficial.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the roots are in the past where you were powerless. And so we work a lot on the ABC of the development, so going back to the mom and daddy and to the priest and
the whole
the
thing.
church, the whole thing that suppressed your energy. And so in our house in those weeks, there's a lot of screaming, a lot of crying, a lot of tapping on the cushions.
So when they're at the class.
Yes, and a lot of laughing, but it's also fun. It's fun.
But they're venting all these
Yes,
deep-rooted emotions
yes.
they couldn't get rid of.
Yes. And afterwards, then people are more free and they can more handle normal relationships.
But this could be more easily done in a closed environment like that, where you couldn't do it on the street.
No, I would not
you would
advise
have
that.
to, in a closed environment with like 10 people, they get to know each other and they feel safe that they can vent their emotions.
I mean, you have to start in a laboratorium situation, a lab situation, and then that you can how to say that, transmit it to other situations in your life, and yet you can handle it. I give the tools to work at home with it. It's very easy. I mean,
once you know what you're doing, what you're looking for.
Yeah, but most of the time you don't have to know before. Just when you feel a load in your trigger, you get angry or you get sad, depressed. I advise people to go lay down, do music on, hyperventilate. So
I mean, hyperventilate means to breathe.
Breathe, to
breathe. That means breathe very fast.
Very fast, yes. To really how do you say that? To wake up your body, and then with that hyperventilation, you have more chance to get into contact with your emotions. Okay. And when you feel your emotions, you can let them. The memories may come back afterwards, so you don't have to look for it mentally before.
Doesn't always happen at that moment when you're lying down? Then you mean it may come later?
No.
It'll happen at the same time, or what?
Yeah, when you lay down and you hyperventilate, often the emotions will come, and then when you admit the emotions, then the memories who are attached with it come easily back. And
you just trust whatever comes into your mind.
Yes.
Because some people, even with hypnosis, think they're making it up.
Yeah.
But I would say, why would you make up that? You know?
Yeah, but emotions, emotions don't lie. I mean, if you start to cry, it's something that's real. I mean,
that's what I tell people during our sessions.
Yeah.
They tell me afterwards, maybe I made it up. But if they were crying and getting emotional, then I know it's real. You can't fake that.
Yes.
It's coming from something very deep inside.
Yes.
And then they look at it differently because, why would they be crying?
Yeah. That is
that's part of the therapy too, is to let it out that way.
Yeah, in a safe way, no one disturbing, and then you have more chance that you project less in the world. That is our problem in the world. We project our own unfinished business into we project it in the world to a boss, to colleagues,
on other people,
and then the stories go on, and the worker goes on. So for finding peace in our world, I think we have to find peace in ourselves and work through all the emotions.
But try to tell that to the leaders of the countries who are going to war, They need to find peace within themselves, really.
Yeah. It's a message.
So it's a massive job.
It's a massive job, yes.
To try to get it all out.
Yeah.
But you also do other forms of therapy when you're working with these people too, don't you? You said you do the muscle testing?
Yeah, for diagnosis, to look what is most appropriate, most important at this moment. But then most of the time I use music and hyperventilation. So it's a form of therapy from I learned from Stanislav Grof, of the Czech or American psychiatrist, who calls it the holotropic therapy.
Holotropic,
yeah.
Because I was thinking with hyperventilation you can pass out.
Yes, but it's not bad.
But
what do you mean by pass out?
You would go unconscious, it's like
I know.
faint, you would.
Yeah, but people tend to faint in the beginning, but that's fear. That's fear. They just I'm going away. I don't want to feel. Don't want to feel the emotions.
Okay, I see. Okay.
And when you give them assurance, okay, feel the emotions. Okay, we are with you, and so on. Then they don't pass out. It just.
I'm thinking just the breathing can do that. I'm just interjecting my own thoughts here.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
But you were taught this. This is a method that this other psychiatrist uses in America.
Yeah.
He does the
and
same.
I combine it with Gestalt therapy. So I had a lot of trainings in all kinds of different directions, and I made up my own mixture.
That's what I always tell people.
Yes,
make up your own.
Yes, and that's what works. And I am a very practical person, so I like to do what's effective. Mm-hmm. I like success.
Because I always say someone in the beginning had to figure these methods out themselves.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that's the only way to do it, and you must do it step by step the way they were taught.
Oh, no.
Because in my hypnosis classes, some people say I cannot deviate. I have to go step by step of the way I was taught, and they can't think for themselves. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people take all forms of therapy. There's so many different kinds out there. Yeah. Reiki, all kinds of healing. Yeah. And I tell them, even when they take my class, eventually they'll combine it all together. And make their own method.
Yeah, and some day in your life you need this direction and this technique. Some people are more open to that kind of therapy. I mean, what works is okay.
There's no right or wrong. It's whatever works for the person. As long as the client, as the patient is not harmed in any way, you can experiment with some of these different forms of therapy.
Yes.
But explain what the muscle testing is. Some people may not know what that is.
Okay. Our body knows what is true and not true. And our body tends to show in the little muscles what is true. I mean, mostly with the muscle test, you have yes and no questions.
Yes or no.
Yeah, yeah. You have also many other things So, for example, if I look at you very angry or very sad, very depressed, and I test you with a muscle, then you will become weak.
You put the arm out, don't you? The person puts the arm out,
and then you push down, and then when the muscle gets weak, it's something what lowers your energy. So, for example, when you look to a person who is depressed, and I test you, then your muscle will surely go down. And something what reinforces your energy, then your muscles stay strong when I push it.
So these are really answers that are coming from the subconscious mind.
Yes.
Because most of the time they're not what the person knows consciously.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
I can someone comes to me and I test them, I can directly say, what happened when you were 4 years old? Your arm now tells me we have to do something. But that happened when you were 4 years old. Okay. And the person doesn't know, but her body knows.
The body will know.
Yes.
And that's one of the things you do. And then you also use hypnosis, you said, don't you, with past life therapy? Or
past life therapy, but also not hypnosis exactly. I test when I test a person, it can be something from the past in this life. It can also be another life that is important to look at now.
What I call it is a carryover, or it's a residue from something that happened in another life, and it's influencing this life.
Yeah.
And once you find out what it is, then it usually goes away.
Yeah, and then after we test it, and then we go to do the breathing work or the Gestalt work and work it out. So I have different techniques. Altogether what works
for different people.
Yeah, for different phases in the
Mm. So when they come to you for these courses, there's about a week.
Yeah.
They work with each one to go through this.
Normally, I work individually with them in the group, and then in between we do that intensive breathing sessions, and then we work 2 at 2. But I'm always there to supervise.
That's why you don't want more than 10 anyway,
yes,
so you can have a very interactive and intense with the person.
Yes, and also can look very precisely what is wrong with that person and what is with the other. I mean,
that way they don't get lost in a big class.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what people have told me when they've gone to classes, 25 people or more, they feel they're overlooked.
Yeah, and you can have something from that, but it's not so precise.
I
like the precision, just what's going on with you when it's wrong, and which way you have to go to develop.
So right now you're still writing.
Yeah.
And incidentally, Reed published 2 of my books in Dutch.
Oh yeah.
The book Between Death and Life that I was speaking about last week, the one What Happens When You Die and Where You Go Afterwards, she is published in Dutch, and also the first volume of the Nostradamus trilogy, Conversations with Nostradamus. She has published that in Dutch. So I think we have them on our website too. We have the pictures of the different languages that the books are in.
They're also on our website.
They're also on that one. So there's she's really involved in a lot of different things. I'm trying to think if there's something else we haven't covered, but there was so much in your life. It's very full. But
this is the most important, the therapy work and the publishing work and the writing.
The writing, you're still writing more books.
Yeah.
And now you're going to focus more on lectures too, aren't you? And you have done lectures.
Yes.
But you're going to be doing more of those too with your new talk about your therapy.
Maybe, and I try to get my book published in English, and therefore I'm here with Dolores. Also. And,
the problem is translating it into English.
We will fix it. And I try to, I'm in contact with German publishers, so in Germany, and I have a student of mine who lives in Berlin, so to try to spread this work a bit about other countries, or to other countries too, if I get a chance.
Yes, that's part of it. It starts and then it just spreads.
Yeah, we'll see.
But you're over there where you can contact more people in Europe, so you can get it in more languages over there. You know, because you're right there. It's harder for us in America to approach publishers of that part of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy to. So many books up there in the world.
Oh, I know. There's lots of them. That's part of the problem. And you said you can't get it on Amazon because Amazon is mostly English
or French,
English or French.
They don't have in Dutch. But there are sites in Holland, that site, where they can get our books.
Okay. Let's see, how many classes a year did you say you hold?
10.
About one a month?
One a month, yeah. About in the winter time we take off.
I do the same thing.
We do our hibernation.
I hibernate during the winter also.
Oh, yeah. So, but it's also then too cold, and we have to heat with wood, so that's a lot of work. And just carrying all the wood upstairs. So we like to do it in the summertime. Then we have a nice outside river you can swim in. And a wood.
You said there's a river right by the old mill.
Yeah. And we're going to restore the electricity so we can make our own electricity from the
river.
So we want to live a bit off the grid, as they say. They call it in.
Well, that's the best way if you can get free electricity.
Yeah. So we play around and do all things that we like. So then you have a nice life and you do what you like.
That's always the goal, if you
Yeah,
can do
yeah.
what you like. And some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
never get to do that. They are, we call, trapped in the rat race.
Yes,
You
yes.
have to make a living, you have to make money.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
but it's also an indoctrination. I mean, you can live easy, when you want. You can live from not so much money, and then you find your own creativity, and then you can create everything you want. Yeah, yeah.
that's the way to do it. You have seemed to have found the perfect world.
Yes, yes.
And you're helping a lot of people, and that's very important. So we're coming to time to close now.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to know more about Riet and find out about her website, to type in on Google Riet Okken. It's RIETOKKEN, and it'll bring up her website and all of her work, and you'll be able to download some of these books in English too. So I think she's doing a very valuable work, and I think it's wonderful that she has come all the way to America, to the hills of Arkansas, of all places. She'll be able to go back and say she's been in America, but it's just been in the little towns here in the hills. But she said she loves nature anyway. So she won't.
And I love you. That's okay for you.
She won't have much to tell people back home about America, except it's very similar to where she lives. All right. Then if anyone wants to contact me, the website is Ozark Mountain Publishing is the name of the company, and that's abbreviated on our website, www.ozarkmt.com. It's abbreviation for mountain, ozarkmt.com. Or for those in Europe, it's ozarkmt.com. Or you can call our 800 number, 1-800-935-0045, 1-800-935-0045 for more information about the books, about my classes in hypnosis, about private sessions. All right, and good night. And next week, I'll continue with the stories about life after death.
If you enjoyed the show, check out more of our other videos and be sure to subscribe and click the like button. Thank you for listening to the Metaphysical Hour with Dolores Cannon.